Well, hello and welcome everyone. My name is Jeremy Leffler and I work in the Policy Office in the Division of Institution and Award Support at the National Science Foundation. And it's my pleasure to welcome you to our final day of sessions for the Spring NSF Grants Conference. And I am now pleased to present this final session covering the programs in the Directorate for Mathematical and Physical Sciences. And this session will be presented by Jeremy Tyson.
Good afternoon. Thank you for joining me for this overview of the NSF's Directorate for Mathematical and Physical Sciences, MPS. My name is Jeremy Tyson, and I'm a program director in the Division of Mathematical Sciences, one of the 5 MPS divisions. So I'll begin with an overview of the Directorate, describing how it fits into the overall NSF framework. I'll also describe the organizational structure of MPS itself, the roles and missions of the 5 MPS divisions. Next, I'll give a little bit of directorate-wide information about budget funding and proposal actions. MPS covers a wide range of scientific disciplines and engages with many other stakeholders, both within the foundation and elsewhere. A complete description of the many programs, initiatives, and funding opportunities available is well beyond the scope of this talk. So in the next part of the talk, I'll highlight some of the multidisciplinary initiatives and programs to which MPS contributes, starting with initiatives in areas such as quantum science, data science, and astrophysics that align with the NSF 10 Big Ideas. Many of these initiatives involve multiple divisions within MPS, and MPS divisions and programs collaborate with other parts of the foundation and other agencies. At the end of the talk, I'll discuss the NSF's career program, the signature funding opportunity for early career researchers. I'll also talk about MPS-specific programs aligned with the NSF focus on broadening participation, as well as programs specifically aimed at undergraduate research. You may have seen this chart or a version of it. Here's where MPS fits within the overall NSF organization. The MPS annual budget is well over $1 billion and funds research that spans a vast intellectual space and multiple scientific disciplines. The mission of MPS is to harness the collective efforts of the mathematical and physical sciences communities to address the most compelling scientific questions, to educate the future advanced workforce, and to promote discoveries that meet the needs of the nation. The MPS divisions support both disciplinary and interdisciplinary activities and partner with each other and other directorates to effectively encourage basic research. This slide shows the internal organizational structure of MPS. The Office of the Assistant Director is the core administrative home of the Directorate. The current MPS Assistant Director is Sean L. Jones, and the current Deputy Assistant Director is Tia Luo. Other directorate-level administrative positions and offices include the Senior Advisor for Major Facilities, the Senior Advisor for Strategy and Engagement, and the Office of Multidisciplinary Activities, or OMA. OMA seeds cross-cutting research in areas of current or future strategic emphasis and supports innovative activity in the areas of broadening participation and workforce development. OMA does not fund proposals directly, but provides co-funding for proposals submitted to the MPS divisions. The MPS Office of the Assistant Director also includes staff members with a focus on communications who reach out to MPS communities through newsletters and the MPS web pages. The 5 MPS divisions are the Division of Astronomical Sciences, the Division of Chemistry, the Division of Materials Research, the Division of Mathematical Sciences, and the Division of Physics. As is evident from this list, MPS covers a wide range of scientific topics and is not assembled around a single unifying scientific discipline. This is an important strength of the Directorate as it facilitates interdisciplinary research. The Division of Astronomical Sciences supports research in all areas of astronomy and the astronomical sciences. The division funds research which provides access to world-class astronomical research facilities and the development of new instrumentation and next-generation facilities. Individual investigator programs include research grants, postdoctoral fellowships, REU programs, the Advanced Technologies and Instrumentation Program, the Spectrum and Wireless Innovation Future Technologies Program, or SWIFT, and several others. The Mid-Scale Innovations Program supports a variety of astronomical research projects with budgets up to $30 million. Finally, the division supports major astronomical research facilities located around the world, including the National Radio Astronomy Observatory, the Daniel K. Inouye Solar Telescope, and the Vera C. Rubin Observatory. The mission of the Division of Chemistry is to support innovative research in the chemical sciences, integrated with education and focused on the development of a globally engaged chemistry workforce. Individual investigator programs include chemical catalysis, chemical measurement and imaging, chemical synthesis, environmental chemistry, chemistry of life processes, and others. The division supports integrative activity through the Centers for Chemical Innovation, research centers focused on long-term research challenges. It also supports the acquisition of multi-user instruments and the operation of multi-user research facilities in the chemical sciences. In addition, the division participates in programs in workforce development and broadening participation, including the REU Sites program, the Intern Supplement program, and the AGEP program. Some of these will be discussed in more detail later on in this talk. The Division of Materials Research supports experimental and theoretical research, which uncovers new knowledge about the behavior of matter and materials phenomena, including work in condensed matter, material physics, solid state and materials chemistry, metals and metallic structures, polymers, ceramics, and biomaterials. Programs for individual investigator research projects in all of these areas are available. DMR also supports cross-cutting large-scale research activity through its Centers program and its involvement with major facilities. Finally, DMR also supports REU sites focused on material sciences and related areas. The Division of Mathematical Sciences supports research at the frontiers of discovery in the mathematical and statistical sciences and training the next generation of mathematical sciences researchers. DMS core disciplinary programs span all areas of pure and applied mathematics, as well as statistics. The Mathematical Sciences Research Institutes program funds large-scale institutes that serve as national resources to advance research in the mathematical sciences and enhance the connections between mathematics and statistics and related fields. DMS also partners with other funding agencies and supports research in NSF-wide programs in data science, quantum science, mathematical biology, and other areas. Workforce development programs in DMS include the Mathematical Sciences Postdoctoral Research Fellowships, REU sites, research training groups, and the Mathematical Sciences Graduate Internship Program. And finally, the Division of Physics supports fundamental research across all branches of physics, including atomic and molecular physics, particle physics, gravitational physics, astrophysics, the physics of living systems, nuclear physics, and quantum science. The division also supports university-level centers and institutes through the Physics Frontiers Center program and national facilities, such as LIGO, the Laser Interferometer Gravitational Wave Observatory, the Large Hadron Collider, and the IceCube Neutrino Observatory. This is just a small sample of the programs and initiatives available through the MPS divisions. And I certainly invite you to visit the websites of the individual divisions for more information. You can find a wealth of information about the directorate in the MPS Directorate brochure, and additional information can be found by visiting the MPS section of the NSF website. The MPS brochure contains statistics, mission statements, initiatives, funding rates, and lots of other information. You can find the link there at the bottom of this slide. This slide, taken from the MPS brochure, shows the research and related activities funding history over the decade from 2010 to 2019. It shows research expenditures both in actual dollars and constant 2019 dollars. Funding rates and numbers of proposal actions over the same time period are illustrated in this graphic. The graph shows number of proposals received by fiscal year, the number of newly awarded research grants, and the resulting funding rates. Funding rate here is defined as the percentage of new or renewal proposals awarded during a given fiscal year. Note that the information on this slide is And the average for the directorate, it may not be representative of individual divisions or individual programs within divisions. The actual science of the MPS Directorate comes in through the 5 divisions. Taken together, these span a breadth of fundamental lines of inquiry that make MPS a major component in the NSF. Over the next few slides, I want to highlight some of the specific interdisciplinary programs and funding opportunities. Again, just a sample, starting with ones which align with the 10 big ideas. In 2016, NSF unveiled a set of 10 big ideas, long-term research and process ideas that identify areas of future investment, frontiers of science and engineering. MPS initiatives play a critical role in a number of these ideas. I would just like to highlight 3 of them: harnessing the data revolution, windows on the universe, and the quantum. Again, this is just a sample. MPS activities also contribute to a number of other ideas on this slide. All 5 MPS divisions have programs and initiatives in the area of quantum science and technology. The Quantum Leap Initiative seeks to lead the next quantum revolution, exploiting quantum phenomena to advance the frontiers of research and sensing, computing, information science, and many other areas. The top picture on this slide shows a 1927 conference, one of the quantum age. You may find Marie Curie and Albert Einstein in the front row of that picture. The bottom slide is an image of Majorana nodes used in quantum computing. Quantum Leap Challenge Institutes are large-scale interdisciplinary research projects advancing the frontiers of quantum information science. Research in these institutes spans the focus areas: quantum computation, communication, quantum simulation, quantum sensing. These institutes also foster multidisciplinary approaches to scientific, technological, and workforce development goals. 5 existing Quantum Leap Challenge Institutes currently funded, located at the University of Maryland, College Park, University of Chicago, University of Illinois, Urbana-Champaign, University of Colorado, and the University of California, Berkeley. I'd also like to highlight the expanding capacity in quantum information science and engineering solicitation. This is an active program. The NSF solicitation number is 22-561. This program is designed to increase research capacity and broaden participation in quantum science and engineering research. This is to be accomplished through the creation of a diversified portfolio of research and educational sites. Proposals through this program focus on institutions of higher education that in the past 5 calendar years have not received more than $5 million total from all federal funding sources for quantum science and engineering research. Proposals can come in on 2 tracks. The first track is for individual PIs paired with an external co-PI for up to $800,000 per award for up to 3 years. Track 2 for small to medium teams of collaborators paired again with 1 or more external co-PIs. Track 2 proposals are for up to $5 million per award for up to 5 years. There are certain focus areas that are listed here on the slide. The next track 2 letter of intent due date is in February 2023, and full proposal deadlines are March 2023 for track 2 proposals and April for track 1 proposals. MPS engages with the NSF-wide initiative in data science, the Harnessing the Data Revolution, in a number of ways. On this slide, I want to highlight one of them, the Tripods program, Transdisciplinary Research in the Principles of Data Science. The Tripods program seeks to bring together mathematicians, statisticians, computer scientists, and electrical engineers to develop the theoretical foundations of data science through integrated research and training activities. The program has funded collaborative research institutes through a 2-phase process, as described here. The Tripods Plus X program also has supported partnerships between science engineering and the Tripods Institutes. 2 of the Tripods Institutes, the existing ones, are highlighted at the bottom of the slide. Next, I'll turn to a program in astrophysics, the Windows on the Universe, Multi-Messenger Astrophysics. This program includes the Divisions of Astronomical Sciences and Physics within MPS, and also the Office of Polar Programs in the Directorate for the Geosciences. The goals of Windows on the Universe are to build the capabilities, realize integrated multi-messenger astrophysical explorations of the universe. Windows on the Universe capitalizes on the NSF's involvement and investment in major research facilities to support research which involves the use of electromagnetic waves, high energy particles, and gravitational waves for astrophysical exploration. Proposals are submitted to the regular disciplinary programs in the relevant divisions and may be identified as compatible with the Windows on the Universe program. Interested PIs are encouraged to contact the program director in one of the relevant programs. Computational and data science enabled science and engineering program is a cross-directorate program involving MPS, engineering, and the SCIES directorates. This program funds research which addresses pivotal questions using computational and data-enabled discovery. This includes simulation and modeling methods and materials for emerging cyber technology. It's designed to identify and capitalize on opportunities for scientific breakthroughs using new computational and data analysis approaches. This, again, is a meta program. It doesn't accept specific proposals. You submit a proposal through a pre-existing funding opportunity, but if your proposal aligns with the stated criteria of the CD&E program, and I encourage you to consult the announcement for details, you may request consideration by the CD&E program on the cover sheet. Major instrumentation program is coordinated through the Office of Integrative Activities and is relevant for several MPS divisions. The MRI program supports the acquisition of critical research instrumentation with a focus on increasing access to multi-use instruments and enhancing the research training of students. Are some specific features of this program as indicated on the slide: a limited number of submissions per institution, the cost sharing requirement. Encourage you to visit the solicitation at 18-513 for more information. Designing materials to revolutionize and engineer our future, DMREF, is a partnership again with the engineering and SCIES directorates. Within MPS, the Division of Materials Research is a key stakeholder in this program. DMREF is the primary program by which NSF participates in the Materials Genome Initiative, MGI. The MGI recognizes the importance of materials science and engineering for the advancement of society and aims to deploy advanced materials at rapid rates and for a fraction of current cost. The MREF supports activities that significantly accelerate materials discovery and development through the formation of interdisciplinary teams. Some key features of the program include discovery, development, and systems design with a shared computational and data science focus. And finally, I want to highlight a very recent Dear Colleague letter from last year, Advancing Discovery with AI-Powered Tools, ADAPT. This Dear Colleague letter invites and welcomes proposal submissions to any of the MPS divisions aligned with the indicated focus areas for artificial intelligence research, AI for modeling and simulation, AI for data and model analytics, AI for concept discovery, and AI in physical systems and experimentation. Again, this is an open call, no proposal deadline, and no direct solicitation. Submissions are invited either as supplemental funding requests for existing proposals, eager proposals for early concept and exploratory research, raised proposals for transformational research involving a multidisciplinary approach. So again, this is just a selection of the types of multidisciplinary programs and initiatives that are available through the MPS divisions. I'll have a few more on a slide later near the end of the talk, but I certainly encourage you to visit the websites of the individual divisions for more information and more funding opportunities. Turn to the career program, the Faculty Early Career Development Program, which is a foundation-wide program for early career teacher scholars. Proposals are selected based on their plan to integrate research and education within the context of the mission of their organization and the specific scientific discipline. Submission of a career proposal requires that the PI be in a tenure track or tenure track equivalent position, but not yet have acquired tenure. The precise criteria can be found at the solicitation. The most up-to-date solicitation for the career program is 22-586. Let's emphasize an important required element in the career proposal is the department chair's supplementary letter. The next career deadline is July 27th, 2022. Now I'd like to highlight several MPS specific and other programs which seek to broaden participation in research. Two programs within MPS are LEAPS MPS and the MPS Ascend program. LEAPS MPS is a directorate-wide program designed to help launch the careers of pre-tenure faculty at institutions that do not traditionally receive significant amounts of NSF MPS funding. Emphasis is placed on supporting pre-tenure faculty at minority-serving institutions, predominantly undergraduate institutions, and Carnegie Research II universities. A critical part of the proposal is the LEAPS MPS impact statement, which affords the PI with an opportunity to provide information about the potential impact of the project on the institution's research environment, the career of the faculty participant, and the ability of the department to better prepare students for entry into advanced degree programs and careers in science and engineering. Ascend postdoctoral research fellowships support postdoctoral fellows whose funded activity will broaden the participation of groups that have traditionally been underrepresented in MPS fields across the United States. The program is intended to recognize beginning investigators of significant potential and to provide them with experience in research that will facilitate interdisciplinary interactions and help to broaden participation within MPS fields. The program seeks to fund postdoctoral fellows in research environments that will have a maximal impact on their future scientific development. Fellowships are for up to 3 years. The project description should include a description of the applicant's past accomplishments, including those aimed at broadening participation, a statement of research objectives, methods, and significance, an explanation of how the fellowship activities will enhance career development, a justification for the choice of institution and the choice of sponsoring scientist, and a separate section discussing the broader impacts of the proposed activities with a justification for how the project will serve to broaden the participation of underrepresented groups in MPS fields. Again, you can find these at NSF 22-503 for LEAPS and 22501 for Ascend. AGEP's Graduate Research Supplement, Alliance for Graduate Education and the Professoriate, is designed to promote increased representation in MPS research. And this is available for PIs to support qualifying graduate students at AGEP or AGEP legacy institutions only. You can consult the website for a list of these institutions. AGEP awards allow the support of one additional PhD student per award. There are certain eligibility requirements that are listed here on the slide. Emphases for the eligibility: funding may be requested for a stipend, for tuition and benefits, and indirect costs. And finally, several MPS divisions participate in the Partnerships for Research and Education program. The goals of this program are to increase recruitment, retention, and degree attainment by members of groups underrepresented in research in the mathematical and physical sciences. On the slide here, you can see the Partnerships, Research and Education programs in physics, chemistry, and the astronomical sciences. You can find more details on the individual websites for each of these programs. Collaborative proposals here are permitted. And a very recent Dear Colleague letter in MPS is MPS High School Student Research Assistantships funding to broaden participation in the mathematical and physical sciences. The Dear Colleague letter is 22-041. The purpose of MPS High is to broaden participation of high school students who are in groups that have traditionally been underrepresented and underserved in STEM fields. The DCL invites requests to foster interest in the pursuit of studies in the mathematical and physical sciences. These requests should make a case for expanding research and mentoring opportunities with the aim of fostering interest in the subsequent pursuit of studies in MPS fields. The MPS New Investigators Workshop is an opportunity for early career researchers and postdocs considering an academic career. This event is coordinated by the MPS Broadening Participation Working Group. The picture here shows what I believe is the last in-person MPS New Investigators Workshop held in 2019. At the workshop, participants learn about funding opportunities, receive guidance and information on proposal preparation, and meet fellow participants at a similar career stage. The 2022 workshop will be held soon. Please stay tuned for information on future New Investigators workshops. And finally, I'd like to close with some information on undergraduate research programs. The RUI solicitation is designed to facilitate research at primarily undergraduate institutions. RUI proposals originate from eligible institutions and must demonstrate how the award will impact the research environment of that institution. Designate which program should receive the proposal. There are extra requirements which can be seen at the RUI solicitation. There is no foundation-wide deadline for RUI proposals. See individual division programs. REU sites and REU projects are proposals to initiate and conduct projects that engage undergraduate students in research. RUI sites might be based in a single discipline. They may be interdisciplinary research opportunities with a coherent intellectual theme. REU projects are supplements to existing awards that involve students in meaningful ways in the ongoing research program of the PI or research projects that are specifically designed for the REU program. The map on this slide, it's a little bit out of date, but it shows the REU sites in the Division of Materials Research as of a few years ago. REU site proposals are governed by a foundation-wide solicitation, but several MPS divisions have information on their websites which clarifies and explains certain aspects of the NSF-wide solicitation as it's relevant for their own division. As I said before, MPS divisions participate in many other NSF-wide programs and programs administered in collaboration with other directorates. Some of the items on this slide have been talked about earlier in this presentation. This slide has a longer but still very incomplete list of cross-directorate and foundation-wide programs. I encourage you to visit the websites of the individual divisions for more information. If you have further questions about MPS programs, solicitations, or announcements, please reach out to a cognizant program officer in the appropriate division for more information. All NSF personnel are listed online. If you're not sure who to contact, the Deputy Division Director in each of the divisions are listed here, may be able to recommend an appropriate individual in their division as a start. Thank you for your interest in the Directorate for Mathematical and Physical Sciences.
Okay, I'd like to welcome you back, Jeremy. I just want to let everyone know we do have some time, so I would encourage you to please submit your questions in the Q&A, and Jeremy has already answered a few of them, so you can see answers to those questions in the Q&A as well. Before we get to these questions, Jeremy, I wanted to just bring up one of the issues that we've been hearing a lot in a lot of these directorate-led sessions, and that is the question of how do I become a reviewer? And it may be different on a program-by-program basis, but perhaps you could talk a little bit about that from your perspective at NSF as a program officer, and also within the MPS Directorate as well.
Certainly, thank you. I'm happy to do so. I'll speak from the perspective of the Division of Mathematical Sciences, which is where I'm located. I can't say for sure that the information will be the same across the other divisions in MPS, but the DMS certainly welcomes expressions of interest by investigators, interest in becoming a reviewer. And we would certainly encourage you to reach out to a program officer in DMS just with an email to say that you're interested. Providing a short CV is certainly always appreciated. Within DMS also, we have, there is a location on our website, one of the links, which is a Become a Reviewer link, and it takes you to a web form that you fill out, some basic information, and that records your interest in a database so that all DMS program officers can see it. Because if you just write to one DMS program officer, well, you're sort of relying on that information being passed around the division. I'm not sure, as I say, exactly what's done in the other divisions, but certainly I would encourage you to reach out to program officers in the division with that interest.
Yeah, and I think that's an interesting point to make, in that your division does that in terms of a web form. A lot of not all divisions do that. So a lot of times you just want to make sure you're reaching out to the program officer or program officers that are most closely aligned with your research. So I'm going to go through some of these questions, Jeremy, and just go on down. And the first one is asking about the ADAPT program and the idea of supplemental funding, and what does this mean? If I can talk a bit for a moment just about supplemental funding and the policies behind that. And the idea of supplemental funding is that if you have an award already from NSF, you can prepare what's called a supplemental funding request to ask for another portion of funds to for another activity that's related to the research that you're doing. This might be a research experiences for undergraduate supplemental funding request. There may be a conference associated with the research that you're doing. I do know that the ADAPT program, which is a Dear Colleague letter, I believe, may have some other specific instructions in terms of supplemental funding.
Thanks. Yeah, that's exactly what I would have said. And I would have mentioned also REU supplements, which I think you already mentioned as another supplemental funding opportunity.
Okay, the next question is asking, are faculty hired as associate professor on tenure track eligible for pre-tenure opportunities? And this may be asking about the faculty early career development program, but perhaps you have some other perspectives on that.
That's the one that comes to my mind, the career program or faculty early career development. Again, I would encourage you to consult the solicitation. I mean, it certainly does say individuals should be in a tenure track or tenure track equivalent position. I think this will be a question for the within your institution, how your institution defines faculty positions.
Right, and again, another point which I think you brought up as well is you want to make sure you're looking at the solicitation. The solicitation will spell out all of the eligibility requirements, both for your institution and also for you as a PI. So that you always want to make sure you're looking at the eligibility requirements in the solicitation that you are thinking about submitting proposals to. The next question is asking about the AGEP GRS. Will NSF consider expanding its definition of groups underrepresented in the sciences to include women?
I don't know that I can speak directly to that question. For the AGEP supplement itself, I think the policies and eligibility requirements of the program are available on the website, and I think that it emphasizes groups that NSF considers as underrepresented within the. In this case, I was speaking about AGEP MPS, right? The MPS specific version, groups that are underrepresented within the mathematical and physical sciences. But I can't speak further. Maybe you have something to say to that.
I know. No, I can't. I couldn't speak specifically about that. I do know that when we are looking at funding opportunities, they come through the policy office for review prior to being cleared. We are looking at the language, and the director's office is also looking at the language when it comes to underrepresented groups to ensure, one, that NSF is being consistent in the wording and the eligibility across all of our program solicitations, but also does it apply specifically to that discipline, because what's underrepresented in one discipline may not be underrepresented in another. So we do look at that as we are, as program solicitations come through our office for that are being updated and as we're reviewing them. The next question is asking about the rare mechanisms, recent expansion from CBET to all chemistry programs. I don't know anything about that, so I'll leave that one to you if you can answer that.
Well, I'll say a little bit, but I think I'll preface my comments by saying that there are a lot of programs across the various divisions of MPS. I'm certainly not familiar in detail with all of them, but I'm seeing this one, and which is available now within chemistry. This is a re-entry to active research program, which is designed to facilitate the re-engagement of faculty who have stepped away from research within an active research program. I will take a look in more detail at that. I'm not aware of what's being stated there, whether there are plans to expand this further, but thank you for bringing that up. It does look like a very interesting program. And that relates, I think, maybe to the next question that's
yes,
in the Q&A.
exactly. Yes, yes. So please go ahead and speak to that if you would.
Is there a particular route that you would recommend for PIs who've not had recent activity, but are seeking to become active again in their research area, for instance, materials and chemistry? So that program that was just mentioned, I think, seems like certainly one great opportunity. I would certainly encourage faculty also just to become engaged with the active research faculty within their institution and in their disciplinary area to build their research program in preparation for a proposal to the NSF.
Okay. The next question is asking if the PI has to be a U.S. citizen or permanent resident for a RUI. That's the research at primarily undergraduate institutions program. I don't believe that there are citizen requirements for that program. Typically, what you'll see when there is an eligibility restriction that is limited to U.S. citizens and permanent residents are our postdoctoral scholarship programs, like the GRFP program, like the other postdoctoral scholar programs in the various directorates. But the RUI program, I do not believe has a U.S. citizenship requirement. In which condition can you consider? I'm not sure I understand this question. In which condition can you consider applying for a continuing grant? Maybe they're talking about a renewal type of proposal.
That would be my reading of this question. I know that one can mark down a proposal as new or renewal, and I mean, this is an option that's available on the cover sheet. If you have an existing grant, I believe it should be, you should make the case that the proposed research really is a continuation of the existing research. I'll let you speak to that as well. If you have.
Yeah, no. The thing to know about renewals is that they are reviewed alongside all other proposals, and so that they're not reviewed separately in a separate kind of way from other new proposals. Is there a way to be added to listserv, an MPS listserv? How does one get on that list?
For the new investigator workshop. Yeah, I'm not directly sure, but there is a broadening participation working group within MPS, which serves as the point group for broadening participation initiatives and organizes the new investigator workshop. I would probably encourage interested participants to reach out to this group, and I believe you can find that information on the MPS website. I can probably track down the appropriate website for that. But there is a group within MPS that coordinates the broadening participation activities, including this new investigator workshop.
Right. The next question is asking about eligibility for the LEAPS program, specifically R1 minority serving institutions.
So LEAPS is, I'll need to go back and check the details there. I mean, I believe I'd have to look to be sure. The eligibility, I don't believe is restricted by institution. The point is that the principal investigator, you need to make a case within the proposal for the impact of the proposed research and the educational, the proposal, the research and the broader impact activities on the development of advancement of underrepresented individuals within the field.
Right, and this is a solicitation that does require the PI to be a U.S. citizen or permanent resident. Yeah. If you have any other questions, you can submit them now. Okay, so the next question is, what is considered early career for the career and PCASE programs?
Do I remember the solicitation for the career program, and PCASE is the career program in a sense, I believe, right? Career,
yes.
Among career awardees, a number are nominated by the foundation for the PCASE award.
Right, the PCASE is not something separately you apply to.
Correct. The solicitation for career has specific description of what of the eligibility requirement, which by definition that is the interpretation of the phrase early career in this context. I don't remember the exact years. I'd have to take a look to confirm that. Maybe it's on the slide.
Yeah, I'm just replying to the question with a link to the solicitation. So you'll see the link to the solicitation there, and you want to be sure that it does have some considerable eligibility requirements in that solicitation. So you want to make sure you're paying attention to that. I see that we don't have any other questions in the Q&A, and so I do want to take the time just to. Do we have more?
Well, you just got one more.
Okay, please go ahead.
I'm reading it right now. I'll read the question. Give me a second. So the question asks if a proposal is based on solving a long-standing fundamental question but needs some financial support to experimentally validate the theory, what would you recommend would be a suitable path for a new researcher? Well, one program that maybe I will mention in this context is, well, it's not really a program, but opportunity, are the eager grants, which are for early concept proposals. They're a smaller amount of money for an early concept to sort of build the foundations for a more substantial proposal in the future. That's certainly one opportunity, and I believe eager is available across all of the divisions and a number of programs. So I'm looking at the next question as I'm speaking, which is why.
Yes, no, and the next question is asking about is career for R1 institutions and LEAPS for R2, and I certainly would say that the career program does not have anything like that in terms of eligibility and who can submit. The eligibility for careers from the institutional perspective is that they're institutions of higher education, and that includes 2-year and 4-year colleges. It also includes nonprofit organizations such as museums, labs, et cetera. So I can't speak to the LEAPS solicitation.
As I say, LEAPS as well, there's no restriction on institution of this type.
And certainly NSF looks to have a broad portfolio of institutions represented among faculty career awards. So certainly I wouldn't want to say that NSF does that. So next question is,
I believe that's still referring to career.
To career,
yeah.
Okay.
Yes, I believe that is correct. One of the things I guess I'll emphasize with regards to career, and I believe I said this in the presentation, a required element of the career proposal is a letter from the department chair. And I'll emphasize this is not a letter of support. This is a letter of certification. One of the things that the department chair needs to include as a statement in the letter is a statement that the individual in question is eligible to apply to the career program according to the guidelines of the solicitation.
Great. Okay. I want to thank Jeremy for presenting today and all of you for attending, and hope you have a great rest of your day and a great weekend. Thanks so much, everyone.